Anyone who knows me knows that I have a hideous habit of laughing at other people's anger. Now, when that anger is directed at me, I'm scared stiff. But when it's directed at something else, like a phone that won't stop ringing, or even a clunked out car engine, then I can't control my shit. Now, if I had to deal with those problems by myself, I wouldn't find them funny in the slightest. But when other people are making a big deal out of them, that's when I get the giggles. And I try to shut them up. I mean, I don't want anyone getting pissed off at me for laughing at their misfortunes, so I fight like hell to restrain myself. Granddaddy of them all when it comes to this problem is with my dad, because he has a razor-sharp wit when he's mad. And he also just has a natural gift for comedic timing and phrasing. It makes it great for when he's telling jokes. But man, it is extremely difficult when he's disgruntled, because in those moments, you know very damn well that you shouldn't laugh, but his delivery just makes it almost irresistible. And in those instances, I'm always left to practically squeezing the fuck out of my own nutsack to not let out a guffaw. I don't want to make him any more mad. And there are endless examples of this. Like 10 years ago, me and my brother Pat, as well as my mom, we were just chilling in the living room, watching television. Now, the room was in a particularly cluttered state at the time. There were newspapers all across the floor, as well as just half-broken junk lined up against the walls. It's a hoarder house. We've come to expect this. We're used to it. One piece of junk being this crappy-ass boombox with a busted antenna sticking right out of it. That took place right next to the lazy boy where Pat was sitting. And right behind the lazy boy and the boombox was this massive bookshelf, stocked to the gills with like 30 million cookbooks that my mom plans to read someday, and a couple of other books that my dad reads out of leisure from time to time. And on this particular day, he wanted to pick out one of those books. So he rolled out of bed after having completed his daily nap, because, my dad sleeps during the day because he works at night. So he gets up out of his bedroom, stumbles into the living room, and turns towards the bookshelf and starts reaching for his novel of choice. And since we're all so accustomed to just crap being all over the floor in our house anyway, he doesn't stop to look below him. So he moves right into the boombox, and the antenna nabs him right in the foot. And he immediately starts hopping up and down, and my mom flies out of the living room, grabs a paper towel, and just applies pressure to his wound, and then takes him into the bathroom to hopefully bandage him up. Now, in the midst of all of this happening, Pat bolts to go to work, leaving me totally alone in the living room, having to listen to my parents rally in rage off in the distance. And I then hear my mom tell my dad that they're all out of bandages. But she knows that she bought some the night before, but she has to go digging around to look for them. So she leaves my dad alone in the bathroom, bleeding. I'm alone in the living room, and my mom is outside digging around in her car alone as well. And all three of us are just totally isolated in this moment. My dad doesn't know that I'm in the living room, and my dad also doesn't know that my mom isn't in the house anymore. And after about 5 minutes, I hear this. Get out here, man! Hey! Give me a fucking Band-Aid! Now! So I go running out of the living room as fast as I can with my hands around my throat, asphyxiating any air from coming in or out to go find my mom, who's outside in her sob digging around for a box of Band-Aids that may have fallen out of a Walmart bag, of which she did. So she goes back into the house, patches up my dad, and he's fine, everything's fine, and like well-adjusted people, vowed to never speak or even think of this incident ever again. Well, to that I say, I've never claimed to be a well-adjusted person.